Week 29, day 5. I'm going to really be tough on you now. You've had Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday to improve or to develop the quality of compassion. And you've had, I promise you, you've had lots of chances to be compassionate. If you got a minus on one of those days, any one of those days, if there was a day you weren't compassionate, you had the opportunity. You could have been friendly to someone that you'd always kind of considered below you. Or you're in authority and you don't know where the people that work for you come from. You ain't ever been to their house. You don't know their wife. You don't know their kids. When I went to work for Zig Ziglar, the first thing he did was he wanted to meet me and my wife. He wanted to know where I was coming from before he could work with me. You got to have compassion. If you've got a minus on any one of those days, I want you to write why. You think you're better than somebody? You really think because you're a different color, or your parents make more money, or you've got two parents, or there's something like that, you really think you're better than somebody? That's not your problem. That's your symptom. Your problem is you don't have compassion. You have to become compassionate. You've got to develop the quality of compassion. You need to be a role model for compassion. That's what Martin Luther King was, a role model for compassion. That's what Jackie Robinson was. That's what the Native Americans, Jim Thorpe and those Native Americans at Carlisle Institute were. That's what Abraham Lincoln was when he fought so hard for the amendment to free the slaves. They said, hey, we can win the war. You don't need to free the slaves. We don't need to have that amendment. Oh, yeah, we do. That's compassion. That's being compassionate. And if you've got a minus this week, you need to write why. And then you need to write down what are you going to do to change it. I don't want you to leave this lesson this week until you come up with a plan to become more compassionate. We're going to develop compassion. If all these 36 qualities, if the only one we developed was compassion, we would live in a much better world than we live in today. The one thing that is lacking, the Democrats have no compassion for the Republicans. The one color doesn't have compassion for the other color. Religion doesn't have compassion for the other religion. Socioeconomically, the poor and the rich, it's all we're against each other. Nobody's compassion. Nobody cares about where the other comes from. If we develop this quality, if we develop this one quality, this world would be such a better place. Your football team would be so much better if you were compassionate to every single person, if you knew where they were coming from. We had a lock-in every year. And the main reason we had a lock-in was so that our players got to know each other. We had a lock-in one year, and we were talking about, and we said, one of the things that we did was everybody stood up and said, tell something that nobody in this room knows about you. And we had a young man stand up and say, I was adopted. And I guarantee you, every coach and every player's jaw in that room dropped to the floor. Because he was the last person you would have ever thought would be adopted. It's compassion. Knowing one another, finding out about each other. If somebody's getting bullied, bullying's not your problem. I've said that all week. Make sure you understand that. And when the teachers and the people and a principal on it say, we've got to stop this bullying. You say, no, we don't. We got to develop compassion. And if we develop compassion, we will eliminate bullying. The problem is not having compassion. The symptom is bullying. If you got a minus, you got to write, what are you going to do? What's our plan to become role models for compassion? You got your goals this week, and I've kind of gone over that. I haven't really touched on them because of the passion I have for compassion. But you need to make sure that you're purpose-driven, accomplishing your goals, getting them done, having those things done. Make it a great week.